Hello, I'm Danny Legowelt, and here's a tip for the Novation Peak, and this tip is called synthetic hurdy-gurdy, and we're gonna make a kind of medieval folkloristic instrument simulation in the Novation Peak. The hurdy-gurdy and bagpipes and instruments like that from the Middle Ages, and they use drones. Basically, they have like a tone always playing where you can play a melody over it, and this tone is most of the time a perfect fifth that just keeps on playing, and then with another string you can play a melody over it. And the cool thing about the Peak is that it has a fixed note in the oscillators, so whatever you play, it will only play that note. And of course you can individually assign that to any of the oscillators. So I'm gonna show you how to make a sort of synthetic hurdy-gurdy or medieval instrument. And we're gonna start programming the drone. So we have an initialized patch here. Gonna put it on pulse width modulation because that's nice. We're gonna use the first two oscillators for the drone. And this sounds, of course, we've got to put it a little bit lower. We're getting a little bit closer, and we go to the oscillator menu, but if you just press this, it will automatically go there. And here you see fixed note, and we're gonna put that one on a C3, because we're gonna make a perfect fifth with a C3. You can use any interval, basically, to do that. And then for the second one, I do this, and then it automatically goes to oscillator 2. We press this, and we put the note there on G3, so we have this interval here. It's perfect fifth, I guess. Now, when I play any key, we will hear the same thing. Because it's on the fixed note. We're gonna put actually the Peak in monophonic mode for this, because it will sound nicer the way the notes are triggered. So I put it in mono. You can use mono 2, mono LG, it doesn't matter. And now we have the third oscillator is free to play the melody. So we turn that on and put it a little bit higher and put it on this, and then so yeah, now you have the drone on the background, and you can play like a little jolly tune with the third oscillator. And of course we can make it much more interesting by, for example, putting modulation on the pulse width thing of the first two oscillators. So I'm just gonna use LFO 1 for that because it's easy, but you can use any LFO for that in the mod matrix. Put it a little bit slower, and then we should use the shape amount to get the modulation going on. Put a little bit of filter LFO, so there's a little bit of movement in the filter. And change the envelope a little bit too. And then you just find a nice scale that sounds kind of medieval or folkloristic. We can put it a little bit lower too, the drone. Oh, and add a little bit of LFO 2, put that a little bit faster for the vibrato effect. That's kind of like a spice you can always put on your sound. You can even put a little bit more on the higher note. And if you press the latch, you don't have to hold the key, you can just go like that, because it will always drone. And of course, you can change the pitch of the drone, the notes of the drone too, by assigning, for example, the pitch band only to the first two oscillators, and that's really easy to do. We go to the oscillator menu and go to oscillator 1. Here says band range, so let's put that on, I don't know, on 7. Then go to oscillator 2, and we only want the band range on 7. And then we put on oscillator 3, this one that plays the melody. We put the band range off, and then in theory we see now I only changed the drone while the melody stays the same. So yeah, then you can get a very troubadour-like synthetic hurdy-gurdy sound, sort of.